A fanciful form of travel is getting a far more serious look these days. And our Faith Saley says it's about time.
Be honest. Who hasn't wanted to hit fast forward or rewind on life? For as long as there's been a concept of time, that urge to break the bonds of time is, well, timeless.
The idea of time travel is actually as old as civilization itself, and we see the very first stories in the Mahabharata, the great Indian epic, in 400 BCE, so they're nearly 2,500 years old.
Lisa Yazek is a professor of science fiction studies at Georgia Tech. She says those early time travel stories were full of magic, not science. But
as we moved into an industrial culture and suddenly we had trains that had to move on schedule from station to station and ships that had to cross great bodies of water and make it into docks at certain time, we had to make sure that humans in different parts of the world were telling time in the same ways. And I think that was really exciting. We felt like we suddenly did have a little control over time.
And so that brings us to H.G. Wells, right?
Yes, absolutely. His famous 1895 novel, The Time Machine. H.G. Wells would have seen the first automobiles being tested, the first motorcycles. So why not get in a vehicle and travel through a few centuries?
Hollywood has turned that first time machine into a DeLorean, a police box, even a hot tub.
It must be some kind of hot tub time machine.
But when it comes to time travel movies, is there any scientific fact behind all this science fiction?
What do they get right?
Not a whole lot.
Author and physicist Brian Greene.
I want to understand time travel completely. Don't dumb it down. How does it work?
Well, if you model space-time as a four-dimensional Hausdorff differentiable manifold, then you can have trajectories of two observers that begin at one moment in time.
Okay, we're going to do some time traveling. I'm going to go back a few seconds and re-ask that question. I want to understand time travel. Please dumb it down.
Time travel to the future is real. If you want to see what the Earth would be like a million years from now, Albert Einstein tells you how to go about doing it. Get in a rocket ship, travel out for 6 months near the speed of light, turn around and come back. And if you went fast enough, you will come back 1 year older according to your own clock, but Earth will have aged 1,000 or 1,000,000 or 1,000,000,000 or 1,000,000,000,000 years, all depending on how quickly you went. When you step out of the ship, it will be the future. You will have leapfrogged, traveled into the future.
And according to Einstein, it's not just speed that affects time, it's gravity too. Just ask Scott and Mark Kelly, twin brothers born 6 minutes apart back in 1964. In 2016, Scott, an astronaut, returned to Earth after 340 days zipping around in the International Space Station. When he touched down, he had added a few milliseconds to that original 6-minute age gap. Scott, in other words, had traveled in time.
Because these are two individuals that experience different gravitational fields. One was up, one was down, different strengths of gravity, time elapses at different rates. In fact, we do this all the time. Every time we go up in an elevator, we are traveling through time at a different rate.
But what everyone wants to know,
Do you think that we will be able to time travel in the future?
I do. It's hard to say when or exactly how, but since it's part of physics as we understand it, at some point we will be able to make use of these ideas and travel to the future.
How's it going, Old West dude?
Greene thinks traveling to the past, like Bill and Ted, is much less likely.
Bogus.
Which is just fine for a majority of Americans. In our CBS News poll, to the future is where they'd want to travel anyway. Our fascination with time travel might help us appreciate something else entirely, says science fiction studies professor Lisa Yazek.
It's so easy for us to live in our heads and to always be thinking about the past, trapped in memories, or thinking forward to what we'll accomplish, what we'll do in our retirement, that we lose the experience of the here and now and the richness of living in the moment.